Welcome back, guys. My name is Carl, and I welcome you all to the free software series, and it's episode 2. If you have not watched the previous video, then I recommend you to please click on the above pop up link. In this series, we are trying to learn the application from installation to their usage. It's the continuation of Oracle VirtualBox installation, and in today's video, we will learn how to use Oracle VirtualBox, and we will also create the virtual machine. We will also learn how to clone them and use them in a different host system. So without wasting the time, let's get back to the computer screen. In our previous video, I have already installed Oracle VirtualBox, and now it's time to create the virtual machine. But wait, we will also be required an ISO file to mount with that created machine and put that up. In this video, I am going to download the ISO file from Microsoft Evaluation Center, and the downloaded file will be valid for 90 days for evaluation purpose only. So to download the application, just visit to this portal. I will also put that link on my description. You need to click on Windows 10 Enterprise since it's only valid for 90 days and it's only the purpose of evaluation. You need to select the ISO Enterprise version, click on Continue button. You need to fill some details required by Microsoft and hit on the further continue button. One ISO file will be downloaded, and same we need to use. Since I have already downloaded the file, I am going to skip this step. As I said in my previous video, you should always download the application from trusted source. You might have a multiple source and you can arrange that ISO file from your friends and all who they are IT professional, but it's always recommended to download the ISO file and any application from the trusted stores, and you also verify that checksums as explained in my previous video. Let's start the VirtualBox and start creating the virtual machine. As you can see that I do not have any virtual machine added, so to create a new one, just click on the new button. VirtualBox offers us a bit of automation, so when we name our virtual machine, like if I type Windows 10, Windows, simply I can say that if we type Windows, and you can see that type of that machine name has automatically been picked up by the system, like a Windows, and version has been selected for Windows 7. However, if we type furthermore and type Windows 10, this automatically detect like we are trying to create a machine for Windows 10, and it's basically we currently most of the systems are coming with the 64-bit, so that's why it's automatically being picked up by the 64-bit. However, if you wish to change, then you can also go manually in this version section and you can change with the Windows 32-bit. So in my case, I am going to install a 64-bit version, so the configuration will be the same. However, if I go with some other distribution like a Linux distributions with a different operating system, if I write open source, you can see that type has been automatically changed with Linux and the version name. You can name your virtual machine anything which you want, but you have to make sure that the type of that system should be depending on the OS you are going to select and the version. So in my case, I'm going to keep Windows 10 and click on the next button. In this step, our physical machine's memory will be partitioned and given to the virtual machine. So we need to make sure that we need to select that recommended memory size, and it should be minimum. However, if you wish, you can increase it according to your requirement. and but please make sure that we are not exceeding the memory size more than the physical computer has. In this case, I am going to uh, keep it like it is and going to click on next button. In this step, the last option is a hard disk selection. So the last physical resource to be considered is a hard drive space, which your physical host will also need to provision to the guest VMs. It is possible to create a different kinds of virtual drives, either the native VirtualBox, VDI, which we can see that Microsoft VSDs or VMware's VMDKs. So these three virtual machines offer three kind of disks, and all are compatible. So in our case, we are going to create a VDI. Let's click on the create button. Virtualized hard disks are often allocated automatically, or we can say that dynamically. That is, that even though we may specify the hard disk on the machine to be certain size, on our host computer, it will only take up as much as the space the VM is actually using. We can also allocate the space as a fixed size or provision all space at a time. And in most of the cases, dynamic allocation is recommended. So we are going to select the dynamically allocated and click on the next button. Finally, a VirtualBox will again present a recommended minimum value for hard disk depending on uh, our OS choice. So if for Windows, it's showing like the 50 GB minimum space. However, if we go with the Linux, that will show a different space. So according to that minimum size, we need to select. However, if you wish, you can, and your system allows you to increase the width size, then you can also do that, and you can increase and hit on the create button. In my case, I'm going to keep it the minimum one, which was automatically selected by the VirtualBox. So I'm going to hit on the create button. That's it. So our virtual machine for this Oracle VirtualBox has been created with the name of Windows 10, and currently it's a powered off, because in the further steps we are going to load our ISO file and boot that up. Once the virtual machine is created, we need to mount our downloaded ISO file. And to do this, either we can go to our setting by right clicking on the created virtual machine. Alternatively, you can also click Ctrl S and the same window will appear. Under storage, select the CD icon, so you need to click on empty. Under attribute section, you will find this icon, you need to click. So if you have created anything previously, so you will find all the attached disk files. So in this case, I'm assuming that it's the first time for me, and I need to choose that disk file which I have downloaded. So click on the choose disk file and go to our download folder. So I'll click this Windows. Okay. Since I can see that windows.iso has been selected, I'll click on OK button, and it's completed, like OS file has been loaded. Now I need to click on the start button and same will be started. I'm going to keep this default. Click on install now. I'll select Windows 10 Home and click next. Click next, and the extraction of the file and the installation will begin. It will take some time to be completed. Also, while installing the window, your virtual machine boot up several times, so you do not need to worry. So this is the standard procedure. If even if you install that operating system in your host computer, that also restart services and the restart installation procedure. So now OS has been installed and is up and running. However, we still feel it's weird, like it's only showing in a limited area. Even if I go and click on the full screen mode, it's just working like this. So in that case, we might need to install guest Edison's applications to support the display and the mouse integration. I explained earlier, I have already done that, yeah, while installing the VirtualBox. So if you wish to do that, you need to just download that ISO and click on the device, insert guest Edison CD image, and once the process is done, it will reflect here. You only need to click open. And install. These are basically the drivers. If you see that once it's working, so right now it's asking to reboot that, so we will do that. So now you can see that the full screen mode has been enabled, and there is no difference between that this guest system and my current host system. Now it's time to learn the cloning the virtual machines. So since we have already installed the application, and if you believe or not, it's still a time taking thing. So if you have, suppose if you have multiple system on which you have to install the application or install the virtual machine, and you do not wish to go with this time taking thing, so what you can do, you can simply go ahead and clone that virtual machine, and same will be boot up for the other virtual systems too. So how we can clone that this image? So what we can do, either we can clone this Windows 10 by right clicking and click on this clone option, or you can also click Control and O. Since this virtual machine is already running, so it will not allow us to clone. So for this we need to stop this services. So I'm going to cancel this session and power off this machine. Once the machine is cancelled, and right click on clone, and please make sure you are giving a correct name for cloning this application, and you also make sure the path is correct. So in this clone type, I am going to select the full clone and clicking on the clone. It will take some time to clone that image. Once the process is completed, or you can say that clone process is completed, you can find one more option here, Windows 10 clone, with the name that clone system was created. If you wish to see that file, either directly you can visit that location which was selected while cloning that Windows 10. Alternatively, we can also do this by right clicking on this clone one and clicking on the show in Explorer. So these are the files which was created, and you can also store it in your other drive or the location. So in case your virtual machine is corrupted and all, what you need to do, you need to click on this blue one, double click on this, and same will be created for you. Now the clone one has been completed. Now what I'm going to do, I've already created one clone OS for that Linux system, Ubuntu, and now I'm going to restore it and see how this works. Now I'm going to resume, and we can see that I already have one cloned Ubuntu Linux distribution, and I'm not that was created in some other system, and now I'm going to resume it here. So what we have to do, we need to click on new. We have to name it Ubuntu. Make sure the path is selected. I'm going to select create a new one, Ubuntu clone, select folder, click next. Memory site will be default, and in this step I'm going to use an existing virtual hard disk file. Click on this folder. If you have already selected or created something earlier, then that will reflect here. However, it's the first time for Ubuntu one, so I'm going to click on this folder, click on the add the disk image. So click on this plus icon and locate that drive, virtual machine under Ubuntu. It's a clone image or disk image, you can say that. Click open, use, and you can see that file size was selected 500 GB. So this might throw an error while mapping it or creating it. However, we see if we receive any, and if we receive any, then we will troubleshoot how we can rectify that and how we can use that. So click hit on the create button, and same has been created. Now it's time to power up this Ubuntu system. Just click on the green start button and wait for this system to be powered up. There is one more thing I wanted to discuss. So if you want to secure your virtual machine and you do not want this system to be used by any other person, so what you can do, it also comes with the inbuilt encryption which you can enable and set the password for the same. What you need to do, you right click that virtual machine, click setting, go to under settings. Under this encryption, you will find two types of cipher. Basically, it's an algorithm which this system used to encrypt the password. So you can select anyone and enter your password. In a further step, if someone try to install or the clone system or the same virtual image which you have created, the same password will be required. So that's it guys for today's video. If you have liked this video, please click on the like button, and if you wish to receive a quick update on a future video, please subscribe to this channel and hit on the bell icon. You can also follow this channel on social media for quick updates. Thanks for watching this video. Stay safe, stay healthy.